Depa, 6'6", the charge to an adult. He was charged as a juvenile, and they upgraded the charge to an adult. So my question is, why did they upgrade? Why was he reclassified as an adult? They initially charged him as a child. Why did they reclassify him as an adult? And in case you don't know, bro, if you have a problem with me repeating, get off my live because I'm going to block your silly ass. This is my page, not yours. If you don't like it, get off. Now, for those of y'all who don't know, the state of Florida tries more black children as adults than any state in America. The state of Florida tries more black children as adults than any other state in America. The state of Florida tries more black children as adults than any other state in America. He is being charged as an adult, although he was 17 at the time of the offense. He's being charged with first-degree felony. First-degree felony, aggravated battery of an education employee. First-degree felony, aggravated battery of an educational employee. First-degree felony, aggravated battery of an education employee. Let me stop right there for a minute. Can somebody answer me a question? How is it possible that they couldn't downgrade this brother's charge, but they downgrade the charge of every white person that kills black people? Can somebody help me understand? They couldn't downgrade the charge of this child, but y'all downgrade the charge of every white person who kills a black person. Do y'all remember O.J. Owens in the state of Florida? That black single mother who was shot through the door by a white snow bunny? Susan Lawrence is the white woman who murdered A.J. Owens when she went to her house to reclaim her son's video game or laptop. The white lady shot and killed that single black mother through the door. This was over the summertime. Same state that Brendan lives in, same state of Florida. That white woman was not charged with first-degree murder. She was not charged with second-degree murder. She took a life and she only got manslaughter. She took a life and she only got manslaughter. And guess what? Susan Lawrence, the white woman who shot and killed our sister A.J. Owens, the manslaughter charge in Florida means she can get as little as 10.5 years and as much as 30. She can get as little as 10.5 years for killing Sister AJ, or as many as 30. Brother Brendan, who was a child at the time of his offense, he can get a maximum of 30 years. So let me ask the jury a question. Do you think it is fair that a black child who attacked his teacher's aide should get the same amount of time as an adult who shot and killed another human being who was unarmed? I'm going to ask y'all this question again. Both incidents took place in Florida. Both crimes took place in Florida. Both attacks took place in Florida. I'm going to ask you again. Do you think a 17-year-old boy with multiple disabilities who was not receiving the services he was legally entitled to, do you believe he should go to jail for the same amount of time that an adult who shot an unarmed mother through her front door? Are those crimes equal? 17-year-old boy punches and kicks his teacher's aide. Grown white woman shoots and kills a black woman through her metal screen door. Do you think they should both go to jail for 30 years? Absolutely not. How can murder be equal to punching and kicking? How can murder be equal to punching and kicking? How can murder be equal to punching and kicking? We just getting started. The high school is Matanzas High School. The high school is Matanzas High School in Palm Coast, Florida. If you live in Palm Coast, Florida, I'm talking to the Africans. If you live in Palm Coast, Florida, can you please let me know when this young man is going to be sentenced? Brother Brendan has to go back to court. He's going to be sentenced, I believe, on January the 17th or January the 31st. I need someone to look that up for me. I plan on being there at the sentence. I'm going to say it again. I plan on being present at Brother Brendan Depa's sentence before the court. I'm coming to that hearing. I want to be there to hear the sentence. And if I am allowed, I would like to speak as a professional in the field before the judge executes the sentence on this child. Because what they are doing to him in Florida is an absolute lynching. He does not have his biological parents. He has 2 white foster parents he has been living with since he was an infant. I didn't see anything about his biological parents. He is with 2 white foster parents, a man and a woman, who have been with him since he was an infant. And I don't believe they ever took proper care of this young man. I'm going to say that again. His white foster parents got paid off of him. They used him and they did not properly advocate for him. That's what I feel. Now, let's talk about Matanzas High School. Y'all ready for this? Let's talk about Matanzas High School. The school is 10% black in racist Florida. I want to set the context because I'm about to go in. But I need y'all to get the context. The school is only 10% black, 62% white, 16% Hispanic, 10% black, 62% white, 16% Hispanic. Let me say it again. 10% black, 62% white, 16% Hispanic. Okay? Does everybody know what that means? Y'all do know what that means, right? He was in a predominantly white school where he was being mistreated, racially profiled, and targeted by that teacher's aide, by the teachers, by the principal, by the special ed department. The boy was being mistreated and he got tired of it. I'm not justifying the abuse because no woman should ever be attacked. Black, white, brown, yellow, red. I will never condone the assault of any woman, regardless of race. She should have never been attacked. My premise tonight is not that she deserved the beating she got, because she didn't. No mother deserves that, and her children should not have had to see that replayed on YouTube. But my premise is she was a secondary victim. Brendan was the primary victim, and the true criminals in this case are the principal of Matanzas High School, the superintendent of Flagler Schools, the chair of the school board for Flagler Schools, the chair of the special ed department for Flagler Schools, whoever runs the mental health system for that section in Florida, they are the real criminals. Brendan is innocent, and so is the teacher he attacked. Brendan is innocent, and so is the teacher he attacked. And if Brendan would have gotten what he deserved, if Brendan would have gotten the services that he deserved, the attack would have never happened. I'm going to go over all of this. If he would have gotten the proper psychological services, the proper IEP services, the proper psychiatric services, the proper psychological evaluations, that teacher would have never been attacked. In the state of Florida, Flagler School District in the Matanzas High School is making him a scapegoat. They making him a scapegoat. Brendan Depa is being made a scapegoat by all of these Caucasians. His foster parents are Caucasians. The school is all Caucasian. I went on their website. I went on the Matanzas High School website. I only saw 2 black employees. They might have more, but they don't have many. I was on the school's website. You could go on the website right now while you're listening to me. Matanzas. Matanzas, Matanzas High School. Palm Coast, Florida. I only saw 2 black employees. They might have more, but they don't have many. Only 10% black students in that school. Let's continue. Brandon's attorney, Kurt Tiefke, I don't know how to pronounce the last name. Forgive me, T-E-I-F-K-E. Kurt Tiefke, a Caucasian. Everybody involved is a Caucasian. Let me say this again. I don't see no black people. Where's Benjamin Crump when you need him? I don't see no black people. Where's Benjamin Crump when you need him? I don't see no black people. Where's Benjamin Crump when you need him? I don't see no black people involved in trying to save this young black boy. I don't see no black people involved trying to save this young black boy. I don't see any black people involved trying to save this young black boy. The foster parents are white. The lawyer is white. The principal is white. The superintendent is white. Chair of the school board is white. The teacher is white. They're going to try to lynch this boy if we don't stand up. They're going to try to lynch this boy if we don't stand up. They're going to try to lynch this boy if we don't stand up. So the attorney said, he counseled Brendan to take a plea deal. Hold on for a minute. I'm not an attorney. Most of you are not an attorneys, but can I ask y'all a question? Let me ask you a question. If your 17-year-old son attacked a teacher's aide after constantly being bullied, picked on, criminalized, and targeted, and he got locked up at 17 years old with $1 million bond. Brother Brendan has a $1 million bond. Okay? Would you advise the attorney to counsel your child into taking a plea deal that could put him in jail until he's 50 years old? I'm going to ask the question again. I'm going to ask the question. Takira, no coonish comments, baby. I'm here to defend this young black brother. If you have sympathy for the Snow Bunny, you have a right to. Like I said, I do not appreciate the fact she was attacked. She is a victim. What happened to her is wrong. But this brother is a bigger victim than her. And the question I'm asking you all tonight, do you believe he should go to jail until he's 50 years old for the next 30 years because he did not have the supports and the services that he was legally entitled to? So if you are on my chat with sympathy for the Snow Bunny, please get off the chat. I am not celebrating her attack. It was wrong. What happened to that white woman was wrong. The point that I'm making, Brendan is not the criminal. The school system is the criminal. The IEP team is the criminal. The school psychologist is the criminal. The superintendent is the criminal. The chair of the school board is the criminal. That's the point that I'm making. The foster parents got paid off this boy. The mental health system got paid off this boy. The special ed program got paid off this boy. Matanzas High School got paid off this boy. And you mean to tell me all these people exploited this boy for 17 years and he's going to take the fall because he never got the services he should have received? Let's continue. That lawyer had no business counseling this young man to take a plea deal for 30 years. That lawyer had no business. That Caucasian had no business counseling this young man to take a plea deal. Who agrees with me? Who agrees with me that a 17-year-old child who just turned 18 ain't got no business being counseled by his white lawyer to take a plea deal that could lock him up for 30 years? The same amount of time that the white woman who shot and killed Sister AJ with a gun, same amount of time she can get. How can his attack be equal to the same punishment as a murder? How can a couple punches and a couple kicks be equal to murder with a weapon? Let's continue. The judge, Chris France, the teacher's aide, Joanne Nadich, is the teacher's aide. I'm giving y'all the facts and then I'm going to go into my cross-examination. I don't know who's calling my phone because I'm live. I might block you. Don't ever call me when I'm live. I don't like that. Circuit Court Judge Terrence Perkins set the sentencing for January 31st to January 17th. Can somebody please Google? Can somebody please find out when is Brendan Depa? His name is spelled Brendan, last name Depa. He has the last name of his white foster parents. He has the last name of his white foster parents. He has the last name of his white foster parents. Brendan, Brendan, Depa. Brendan Depa. Can somebody in Florida go on the court's website and find out the exact date, the exact time, and the exact address of the sentencing hearing? Because Dr. Umar plans to be there. Dr. Umar plans to be there. Dr. Umar plans to be there. Let's continue. An open plea to the court means that Brendan's defense attorney hasn't reached any agreement with the prosecutors on a possible sentence. Did y'all hear what I just said? Brendan's case is an open plea to the court. That means his lawyer hasn't reached any deal with the prosecutors for this 18-year-old boy's sentence, but you encouraged him to plead guilty. I'm not an attorney, but why would you encourage a 17, 18-year-old boy to plead guilty and you don't even have an agreement with the prosecution on a sentence, brothers and sisters? Did y'all hear what I just said? The lawyer counseled him to plead guilty, and the lawyer doesn't have an agreement with the prosecution on how long this boy is going to be sentenced to jail. Text that to my phone, please. 215-989-9858. Text that to my phone. 215-989-9858. Next up, according to the record, Brendan Depa has 3 prior misdemeanors. 3 prior misdemeanor battery charges. He was locked up 3 times before for beating people up. He was locked up 3 times before for beating people up. He was locked up in March of 2019. He was locked up in April of 2019. He was locked up in June of 2019. I'm going to say it again. He was locked up in March of 2019. He was locked up in April of 2019. He was locked up in June of 2019. So let me ask the Flagler School District a question. This is a question for the superintendent. This is a question for the director of special education. This is a question for the chair of the school board. This is a question for the superintendent. This is a question for the principal of Matanzas High School. This is a question for the chair of the school board. Why was this young man, who is clearly a violent youth offender, clearly a violent youth offender, clearly a violent youth offender, diagnosed with autism, diagnosed with post-traumatic slavery disorder? Let me give it to you now, brothers and sisters. Oh yes, let me give it to you now, brothers and sisters. Listen to his diagnoses. Y'all ready for this? Y'all ready for this? Are y'all ready for this? He was diagnosed with ADHD, autism, oppositional defiant disorder, intermittent explosive disorder. Did y'all hear that? Intermittent explosive disorder. Did y'all hear that? Intermittent explosive disorder, ADHD, oppositional defiant disorder, mood dysregulation disorder, mood dysregulation disorder, mood dysregulation disorder, anxiety, and to top it all off, this poor child, this poor black boy, not only did he have ADHD, not only does he have anxiety, not only does he have oppositional defiant disorder, he has mood dysregulation disorder, he has intermittent explosive disorder, and guess what else he has? Y'all ready for this one? Post-traumatic stress disorder. All charges need to be dropped. Post-traumatic post-traumatic stress disorder. What kind of lawyer does he have? Post-traumatic stress disorder. What kind of foster parents does he have? Post-traumatic stress disorder. What kind of judge? You would think this was a case from 100 years ago. This is happening right now, brothers and sisters. Are we going to show up to the court hearing together? Or who's going to go with me? Who's willing to go with me to Brother Brendan's sentencing? Anybody out there? I got any alpha males out there? Any sisters out there? I want us to show up and let this black boy see, for once in your life, you're going to see some black people who care about you, because you ain't got nothing but Caucasians around you. Who wants to go to the court hearing? I need somebody to text me the address. Where's it going to be held at? I need the court address. Stop being lazy. Stop depending on YouTube. Text me the information, Florida Africans. Text me the information, Florida Africans. 215-989-9858. I'm not booking your flight. You got to book your own flight. I can't afford that, my brother. You got to book your own flight. I can't afford that. Okay? So somebody please text me the information. I'm going to advertise it. This is part of what I have to do as the leader and founder of the national movement to save black boys. The leader and founder of the national movement to save black boys. The leader and founder of the National Independent Black Parent Association. I'm coming to this young man's court hearing. Does anybody know, can somebody say something before the judge makes his sentence? I'm talking to my lawyers out there. Is it possible for me to make a statement before the judge renders his sentence? Is it possible? Can someone from the public inside of the court, can a professional offer a statement on Brendan's behalf before the judge pronounces the sentence? Okay? Let's continue, brothers and sisters. Let's continue. Y'all ready? We're going to keep. So he was locked up 3 times before. He got 6 major mental health diagnoses. Let me stop for a minute. I have a question for the principal of Matanzas High School. I have a question for the special ed coordinator at Matanzas High School. I have a question for the IEP team at Matanzas High School. I have a question for the director of special ed for Flagler School District. I have a question for the superintendent of Flagler School District. And I have a question for the chair of the school board at Flagler School District. I have 3 questions. Question number 1. Why did y'all tell his foster parents that y'all could provide him with a free and appropriate public education? They knew his diagnoses. Listen to me, y'all. The school knew his diagnoses. When he came to the school, they had an IEP. They knew his challenges. They knew his problems. They knew his IEP. Do y'all want to know why they still took him into school? Somebody take a guess. Who can answer the question, why did they let him in that public school if they knew he presented with problems they couldn't take care of? Who can answer the question? I want to see who's been listening to Dr. Umar's Black Parent teleconferences. Somebody text the answer. Y'all should know this answer because I've been over it 1,000,000 times when I do my Black Parent teleconference. Thank you, J. I can't say your name, my brother. Shine Nurse Money. Thank you, Sister Shine Nurse. Thank you, Sister Shine Nurse. You know why they took him? For 2 reasons. They wanted the money that comes with him being a special ed student. They wanted the money that comes with him being a special ed student. They wanted the money that comes with him being a special ed student. But guess what else? They didn't want to spend money to put him in a private school for children with severe mental illness. They didn't want to spend any money to put him in a private school for children with severe mental illness. They didn't want to spend any money to put him in a private school for children with severe mental illness. So who's really the criminal? Who's really the criminal? I can't believe his lawyer. Can somebody find this lawyer? We need to call him up. I'm going to spell his name. I want y'all to call him up because I'm trying to find out how this lawyer didn't present a better argument for this young black boy in court? Why would you convince him to take a 30-year sentence when the boy is innocent? The school failed him. The mental health system failed him. Flagler schools failed him. The principal failed him. His foster parents failed him. Why would you dare counsel him to take a plea deal, brothers and sisters? Why would you counsel this young man to take a plea deal? Let's keep on going. He just completed a program with the Department of Juvenile Defense. And listen to this. The teacher's aide who was attacked. The teacher's aide who was attacked, and we wish her well in her recovery. We have nothing bad to say about her or her family. I want to be clear. We don't support violence against any woman, regardless of race. But here's the issue. They asked her, would she be willing, knowing this boy's true history, psychological history, they asked the Snow Bunny, would you be willing to help him get a lighter sentence? Guess what she said? What do y'all think she said? What do y'all think she said? They said, would you be willing to say something now that you understand the history of his mental illness? Would you be willing to say something on his behalf? And guess what she said? Hell no. Why am I bringing this up? Why am I bringing this up? Do y'all remember the court case over Botham John, rest in peace? How many of y'all remember when our brother Botham John was shot and killed by the Snow Bunny in his apartment? Do y'all remember that? How many of y'all remember Botham John, rest in peace, who was shot and killed by the Snow Bunny police officer in his apartment? She claimed she entered the wrong apartment. How many of y'all remember that? How many of y'all remember Botham John, the white cop busted his apartment, shot and murdered him, and she claimed she entered the wrong apartment? Remember when she went to court? What happened in court? His brother prayed for her, asked for her not to go to jail. The black judge gave her a Bible. Listen to me. See, I want you to see how Negroes operate and how other people operate. I want you to see how we operate and how other people operate. That boy's brother prayed for her in court, gave her a hug, asked the judge or the jury for a lighter sentence, and then the black judge gave her a Bible. Do y'all remember that? How many of y'all remember that? How many of y'all remember? He hugged his brother's killer in court. How many of y'all remember that? Now I want you to compare that to this teacher. She took his brother's life and he prayed for her in court and gave her a hug, and the black judge gave her a Bible. Compare that to this teacher's aide. She know this boy had mental illness. She know she was picking on him. She know she was targeting him. She know he was being treated unfairly. She knew he had issues, and she did not advocate for him. I'm not blaming her for her attack. But if you understand what this black boy has been through, being in foster care since he was an infant, post-traumatic stress disorder, ODD, anxiety, intermittent explosive disorder, why can't you say anything in his defense? She want him to go to jail for the rest of his life because white folks don't show no mercy. They don't show no mercy. They didn't show us no mercy in the 1600s. They ain't show us no mercy in the 1700s. They haven't shown us no mercy in the 1800s. They ain't shown us no mercy in the 1900s. They ain't show us no mercy in the 2000s. I hope y'all Negroes who love to forgive people who mistreat us. I hope all of you Negroes who love to forgive people for mistreating us, I hope you paying attention right now. I hope y'all paying attention, right? All y'all forgive and forget Negroes. Why she not forgiving and forgetting? This was a boy who might go to jail until he's 50 years old. He's going to lose the first half of his life because he was failed by the school system. This teacher's aide knows it, and she's not going to say a word on his behalf. Let's continue. He was initially charged as a juvenile. They upgraded it to an adult. Keep that in mind. He was initially charged as a juvenile, and they upgraded it to an adult. And guess what? The lawyer told him to take the plea so he can avoid jail time. The lawyer told him to take the plea so he can avoid jail time. Can I ask you all a question? Can I ask you a question? If the lawyer don't have a deal with the prosecutor, if the lawyer don't have a deal with the prosecutor, if the lawyer don't have a deal with the prosecutor, why did you tell this child to take a plea deal that could get him 30 years when you don't have no deal with the prosecutor, and your sole purpose for telling this child to take a plea is to get a lower sentence? How is he going to get a lower sentence when his white lawyer doesn't have a deal with the prosecutor? This is illegal lynching. This is a legal lynching. This is a legal lynching. They set him up. And you know what's so sad about this setup? Do y'all want to know what's so sad about this setup? His white foster parents let it happen. His white foster parents let them set up their foster son. I'm going to say it again. His white foster parents haven't done a damn thing to save this boy from this legal lynching that is about to happen. Will somebody please text me the date, the time, the address of the sentence? I plan to be there. 215-989-9858. I hope some of y'all will show up with me. We're going to have to start standing up for our children, y'all. We're going to have to start standing up for black children. We cannot keep letting the court system destroy lives while they're still living. We cannot keep letting the racist criminal injustice system of America continue to destroy lives while our babies are still living. Let me continue. Listen to this. Let's talk about the Matanzas High School for a minute. Let me give you some context. The Matanzas High School, according to the news, has been beset with violence in recent years. The week of October the 14th, 2 weeks ago, 11 students were arrested in the hallway for fighting. 11 students were arrested in the hallway for fighting. When the principal and the deputies tried to break up the fight, the students started attacking the principals and the deputies. I think we know what kind of school this is, don't we? I think we know what kind of school this is, don't we? I think we know what kind of school this is. Let me ask you a question. Does this sound like a school that a severely, psychologically unhealthy child can get proper help? Does this sound like a school where you would put a severely troubled, psychologically disturbed child? I'm going to ask y'all again. Does this sound like a high school that should have ever given this young man a special ed IEP? Did he have any business being inside of this school? Also, a couple weeks ago at the same high school, a 16-year-old girl was arrested for biting her teacher. A 16-year-old girl was arrested for biting her teacher. A 16-year-old girl was arrested for biting her teacher when the teacher tried to stop her from fighting another girl. Did y'all hear what I just said? Does this sound like the place a child with post-traumatic stress disorder? Does this sound like the school that a child with intermittent explosive disorder? Does this sound like a child, like the place for a child with oppositional defiant disorder, anxiety disorder? Does this sound like a school he should have ever been allowed to go to? What do y'all think? You are the jury tonight. You are the jury tonight. Do y'all think that this was a proper placement for this young man? Do you think that this public school was a proper placement for Brother Brendan? Will the real criminals please stand up? To that teacher's aide who got assaulted, I'm sorry for that, but you should not be looking at this young man. You should be looking at the principal, the IEP team, the superintendent, the chair of the school board. You should be looking at them. They're the reasons you were attacked, not because of him. And I would dare say that I think you criminalized this boy and you targeted this boy. And I'm going to tell you why I say that in a minute. I'm going to come to that in a minute. I'm not justifying the attack. I'm explaining why I think the teacher's aide may have provoked this attack. I'm going to get to that in a second. But let us stay with where we are right now. Now, according to the website for the Flagler School District, they're currently hiring for all positions. Can I ask you a question? Do you think a school district that's currently hiring in November for every position? Listen to me, African family. I want you to understand, overstand, and understand. Listen to me, African family. I want you to understand, overstand, and understand. Do you think a school district that is still hiring for every position on November the 2nd, do you think this is a place people want to work at? They go to the website, go to Flagler School District's website in Florida, and you will see a sign up. They are hiring for every position. What does that tell you, brothers and sisters? What does that tell you, brothers and sisters? What does that tell you? That tells you that this is no place anybody wants to be. Brendan was a victim. He was not the criminal. Let me continue. The same school district, Flagler School District, was singled out. Oh, wait a minute. Do y'all remember the news story that came out in August about a school, an elementary, a middle school that singled out black students? They brought all the black students to the auditorium. Who remembers this from this past summer? They brought all the black students to the auditorium and told them, I want to read what they told them. Y'all ain't going to believe this. Y'all not going to believe this. Let me see if I got it on my phone. They brought all the black kids to the auditorium. None of the white kids, none of the Asians, none of the Latinos. They brought all the black kids to the auditorium and derided them about their low test scores. Hold on. I'm going to find this. Hold on. Listen to this. I'm reading the article. This is the same school district. They brought all the kids. Listen to this. It may be true that no malice was intended when Bunnell Elementary School of Flagler School District singled out all the black students, herded them into the cafeteria, branded them a problem to their face, threatened them with jail or an early grave. Listen, they threatened the elementary black children with going to jail or early grave if they don't score higher on the tests. And they also said that if they do well on the test, they will get fried chicken. I'm reading the article. They brought all the black kids to the cafeteria, derided them for low test scores, told them if they don't raise their test scores, they're going to go to jail or to an early grave. But if they score high, they will get some chicken. Fried chicken. If y'all score high on the test, we're going to get y'all some KFC. Coons, fools, and more coons. Oh, yes. If you don't believe me, Google the article. Google the article. The elementary school of the Flagler School District is called Bunnell. 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 Bunnell Elementary. Look it up. They brought all the elementary black. They didn't bring the white kids and nobody else. Jim Crow. They brought all the black kids to the cafeteria and said, if you don't score high on the next test, you poor black Negroes, you're going to go to jail or an early grave. But if you score high, we're not going to have a pizza party. We're not going to have no cake. We're going to get some chicken for you Florida ninjas. They promised them chicken if they scored high on the test. I'm not making this up because you can't make this up. I'm not making this up because you can't make this up. I'm not making this up because you can't make this up. Now, I only got 29 seconds. I'm going to come right back on the other side so we can finish this up. Please text me date, time, address. Please don't send me half information. Don't send me nothing if you're not going to send me everything. Don't text me at all if you're not going to text me everything. 215-989-9858. 215-989-9858.